is visible? Okay. So, good afternoon, everyone. Today, I'm here to share my reflection of chapters 15 and 16 from the book Untold Story of Sita. So, the chapter 15 is shares the conversation between Sita and Mandodari. We can see that these two women on either side of the war, like, one is, Ram's companion and another one is Ravana's companion, right? So, the conversation goes like this. One day, Mandodari has a terrible dream. Like, she remembers of a time when she was really very young. And Ravana comes with a proposal to her home, and her parents refuses the proposal, and he abducts Mandodari, and and over time she develops the fear for Ravana, and finally she surrenders and agrees to marry him. Okay, and in these two chapters, we see two emotions very strong. One is fear, and another one is guilt. Okay, here it starts with fear. Okay, and what all the decisions one person takes in fear, right? This case, it's a very classic example of Stockholm syndrome, like, where the victim actually gives in or feels that, giving in and being on the side of the perpetrator is seen in this condition. Like, it is purely, a survival instinct, I would say. Okay, due to fear, she is
Sanam, I'm
not
sorry to
able to.
interrupt. Can you be a bit louder because volume seems a bit low?
Really? Okay, okay, then yeah. So here we can see that she was totally in fear and she is not able to take any decision. Even in our day-to-day life, we come across so many situations and so many cases we listen to, where we see that maybe the escape could be very easy. Why the people have given in and all, but we don't know their state of mind, right? So here the fear speaks a lot. But on the other hand, Sita, she tries to remind her what all the strength she has and she possesses already. She tells that Ravana has married you, but he's not married another woman. She has like, outcast them. And she's thinking women as a, pleasure things and kind of a thing, right? She also reminds her, like, you have been successful as being a very ideal wife, but you have failed as a woman. Okay, you didn't question him when he is doing all these sort of bad things to other women. You could have stopped him. Then Mandodari asked him, like, how could I, being a woman, can do that? Then Mata says a very powerful line. Are you not powerful enough, Mandodari? She asked her like this. And she also says that why are you being, still staying with him? You could have gone to your parents' place, okay? Half of his energy would have been gone like that. But then, she is in doubt. Can she leave, right? So Mata asks her, is it really love that is keeping you here, or is it fear or the vows that you have taken long ago under very different circumstance, right? And she starts to think about it. And she wants to stay there and she wants to really be the witness to see what happens when, innocent women are silenced, right? So that's how it goes. So next, after a few days, Hanuman's arrival happens. Hanuman, he himself is a manifestation of Mahadev. So he comes to Ma Sita, he finds him, and Ma Sita also could immediately recognize that he is Mahadev. And she asked him, "How did you, able to locate me?" Then he says that you kept on chanting, Ram Nam, that every atom in your body is reverberating with that name. So it was easy for me to identify you. And we all know that he brings the ring of Ram, and immediately she wears that. And throughout, when they were in forest, they were all, had a golden link which is connected to three of them. So the moment Ravana abducts her, that link was broken. She is not in touch, or she could not even feel Ram's presence. Okay. The moment she wears that ring again, that link is established, and she starts to feel his presence again. And Ma Sita, asked Hanuman to awaken Ravana, okay, to his true nature, as Hanuman is being the center of the world. What I see here is Hanuman being the heart center of the world means we all know that Mahadev, uh, he never differentiates anyone. Okay, he equally respects all, whether it is Danavas, Asuras, or Devatas, anyone. Like, Sir says, like, right, heart rate variability, like one should have from 0 to 700. I think he is a perfect example for that. We see other people, maybe taking sides, or like, coming to play their part whenever it is necessary, but he is always there for everyone. And Ravana, being a very big bhakt of Mahadev, I think that is the reason why she asked him to counsel Ravana, so that, all this destruction can be avoided. Maybe he gives a thought about it, whatever he is doing. Yeah. So next is about an the invisible army which is behind Masita. So what happens is, after a few days, she had a dream of a big massacre at Mithila, where she sees that she lost her parents. It was very devastating for her, but Sage Anasuya comes, and she tells her that it is the play of, the mind play of Ravana, that he's trying to weaken her. So Sage Anasuya says that, okay, you have to, enter into his dream world, and because whenever he's coming and doing all the mind games, so whenever he is sleeping, that is the right time to instill, to enter into his dream state and instill the seeds of shame into him. So, she teaches how it to be done. Okay. And, you know, a lot of women, so Ma Sita starts doing that. And a lot of women come to his dream, and they starts questioning him that you have done this and this, and they are seeking for justice. And with all this happening, he couldn't sleep at all. Okay. And he gets really very irritated one day, and he starts to come to Sita, says that you are a sorcerer and you are, doing all sort of magical things. And he starts to attack her. But he couldn't even come close enough, because there is always a protective shield around her. The women of Ayodhya are been praying for the well-being of her since the time she left Ayodhya. That is like, 13 years back. The whole time is 14 years. So they have been praying for her. All these prayers were protecting her throughout. And finally, Sage Lopamudra also comes to her rescue, and she says that you have done your part, Sita, and it is now that Ram has to come and do the rest of the thing. And there are many sages who keep coming and going, while Sita Ma was in Lanka, and along with Parvati Ma also. They're all the invisible army who ensures that, Ram, gets the success in this war. So, this is the chapter 15. Uh, am I going fast? You guys want to ask me anything? You can ask me here. Next will be chapter 16. We'll be going into that.
Could I ask a very, very, very silly question?
Yeah, please. Yeah.
I don't know whether it was said in last week's review because I wasn't there in last week's review. I wasn't feeling well. Who
Okay.
is Maldev?
Sorry.
Who is Mahadev? Whom
Mahadev is
Hanuman comes
Shiva,
in
no?
the
Bhagwan
form of?
Shiva.
Sorry, who?
Shiva, Shiva. Have you
Shiva.
heard of
Okay, got it.
Vishnu, Shiva?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, got it right.
Mm,
Okay, thank
yeah.
you.
Yeah. So, can we continue then? Yeah. Okay. So chapter 16 deals with the actual battle. Okay, Sri Ram comes and lands in Lanka with all his army. And immediately he feels a bit of sorrow. Okay, both Ma, Sita and Ram, they both feel, because what is going to unfold, a lot of, life is going to be lost. So they feel really sorrow for that, because both the armies have, great weapons for mass destruction and all. But in spite of being, Ma Sita, saying so many times to Ravana, has no use at all, and it is quite late. Okay, so the battle has to go on. So while the battle is happening, one day Trijata, who happens to be at service to Ma Sita when she is in Lanka, she comes with the news that Lakshmana has been fatally, have injured, and he's no more alive. Hmm. Then Ma Sita thinks that no, it can't be true. Since she can't go, she goes into meditation, and she goes with her meditative body to see him there. And she finds that Lord of Death, the Yama, he comes to take his life away. And she tries her best to stop this event, that she says that no, he can't go right now. And they both have a time fighting with each other, and finally the Lord of Death, he says ki, okay, in case if you want him to live for some time, I'll take few years of yours, and then I'll give it to him. And she accepts that. Okay. And here Soma says that there is so much about Ma Sita that nobody knows. Actually, when this event happens, no one knows about this event. Hanuman goes for to bring an antidote, and when Lakshmana recovers, he asks one question to everyone: "Where is Ma Sita?" And then Ram says ki she is still in captive. She is still in Lanka. She's not released. Then he says, "No, I have seen her here," and that's how Hanuman knows that Ma Sita has come and has done her part, right? And she also continues to say that the true work to preserve this world takes place away from eyes and ears of humankind. I'm very much sure, the kind of the destruction the human race has seen, or the kind of bad times it has seen. There is a lot of work, hidden work, which is done by many sages and many saints that we don't know at all what is happening behind. If we are seeing, some parts of the world in literally a lot of peace, it could be because of someone's blessings, right? And finally, the release. So here, the second thing comes, power versus force. Why I say this? Because Ravana was too powerful. I mean, he can't be threatened, showing any power or anything. So he is, if not at all fearful, right, for anything. So the second thing, which can, disarrange a person's mental ability, is a guilt, right? So Ma Sita has done her part by instilling, by penetrating into his mind, and by awakening, and by sowing the seeds of guilt, right? And all these days, his sleep is quite disturbed, and he is not in a state where he could think clearly. And that's when finally Rama, he comes, and with his love, he defeated Ravana. Okay, with the final blow, he just cuts the roots of all his 10 deadly traits. And finally, Ravana gets really humbled, and he understands, and he seeks Rama that, can I now return? Okay, to return to where? Because he is Jaya from Vaikunta itself. Because if you have attended the previous lessons, you would know that he is one of the Dwarapalaka in Vaikunta because of his arrogance, because of his greed, that only he could access to Vishnu and Lakshmi Ma, that he, sends away the Sanat Kumaras, right? In spite of, counseling him many a times to change his behavior, he never changes himself. And that's how he got cursed to take three births away. Okay. So this is his second birth. First is being this Hiranyakashipa. Second thing is Ravana. So he asked him, "Can I now return?" But because of all his, doings, Mata had already warned him that it would take a millennia time for you to take next birth. And in that next birth, whatever the remaining traits of him are there, and that will be released, and again he will be accepted back into the higher realms, right? Yeah. So finally, the fire. So Mata knows exactly, the time when this is happened, that Ravana is, dead, because the war is over. And at that right moment, the Amrita, which was sustaining her, it stops flowing. All this while, like 1 year, she stays in Lanka. All this time, she did not eat, she did not drink, she doesn't sleep. Okay. So Ma Parvati says that you just go into meditation, and there will be a continuous flow of Amrita will be there that will sustain you. Okay. You can do without sleep, you can do without eating food and not drinking water. Okay. So once this war is over, this Amrita will also stop. Okay. And a lot of heat generates inside her body. I don't know how many of you have experienced meditation But I used to attend Padma ma'am's meditations a lot, and by the end of the meditation, I used to feel that my throat goes dry, my eyes start to burn, and sometimes I used to feel my feet were also burning, right? So a lot of heat would be there. So imagine I just did for maybe, with half of my concentration, also if I have done half an hour of meditation could do that. Imagine a lady who's been there in meditation without eating, drinking, sleeping, completely, into the meditation. What could be the state of her, energy, all the tapasya, that is there. So it bursts into flames, and it appears like she is sitting literally in a ball of fire. So Lakshmana comes here to stop, but Ram says that she is taking all the impurities of this place. Whatever all the wrongdoings have been happened in that place, she is taking all in. When that is done, all the fire subsides again into her own body. And sorry, and she also lit a flame when she was leaving Ayodhya, and asked Soma and Meenakshi to take care of that fire. And she says that when it is time of my return, this fire will extinguish, right? So it is the exact time the fire also extinguishes there. And she gets up to greet Ram and all, but due to lack of food and no water, right, from all these days, she collapses completely. So she's been taken into the palace, and Ram treats her. And as promised, once she recovers, she takes the first meal from Mandodari only. Okay, in the previous chapters, Mandodari brings her food, but she promises her that once it is done, all the war is over. So I'll take the first meal from your hand. So she fulfills that also. And once she recovers, she asks Mandodari that we need to feed the people of Lanka. Okay. And both Mandodari and Ma Sita together, they cook and they feed the people. Here, one thing, I want to take a side, and like, I have seen many a people. I don't know whether it is Ma Sita, or whether it is Langar, or whether it is uh, any place. If I go, like, like big temples and all the people, they try to feed people for free. I mean, it is there. I don't know what is the link exactly. Maybe I would like to hear from all of you. What do you think of this? In this whole book, you would see that Mata's way of expressing love is through feeding food. Maybe now we are abundant and a lot of thing is there. I think those times were such that maybe food may be a scarcity.
No, I don't think that. Oh, we lost Soumya. I thought she paused.
I think it's a power cut in her
Yeah.
place.
Yeah, we can just continue with that point. But I personally don't think there's a scarcity of food. Uh, but that's a prerequisite needed because that's the only way we can go inside. The easy access is food.
Okay, okay. Am I
Yeah.
audible, ma'am? Because I just had a
Yes,
power cut
yes.
here. That's
I
okay.
understood. I understood. Go on,
Mm.
Soumya.
Okay. Yeah, that's all. This is the end of the chapter 16 as well. So, yeah, thank you so much, guys, for giving me this opportunity to share. Um, Sorry, there is a power cut. I don't know whether I'm audible, whether my connection is stable or not. I'm
You're
not.
audible. You're audible, Soumya.
Okay, okay, great.
You're
Great.
audible.
Okay, all right then. Yeah, so that's all, ma'am. Yeah, that's all, the end of
Mm.
chapter 16. Yeah. My volume is still low. Is it okay?
No, no, you're fine. I'm waiting for Neelam.
Yeah, yeah.
Neelam, you're there?
Or else maybe we can have a
Yeah,
discussion.
true, true.
Yeah.
So that's a magic portion of the entire book. Mata feeds everybody,
Yes,
no,
yes.
shares the love through food, and that's so
Mm.
Soma.
Mm.
So that becomes a very, very prominent point for all of us as nutritionists, of course. We work on thoughts, we work on emotions, we
Yeah.
work on everything, but we
Yes.
can bring up a huge change in all these aspects just through food.
Mm.
Parents
Yeah.
used to say, I don't know how many of you heard this,
Mm.
like the easiest way to win anyone's heart is through the stomach.
Yeah. Mm.
So
Yeah,
it's so
even I,
true.
I feel that ki ma'am, that food nourishes our body and that becomes the blood, that becomes the muscle. I mean, the kind of food that we are eating today is also impacting our psychology a bit. Maybe, it is the way that one prepares the food with either with love or or just for, business. We can see, right? I mean, the intention is important whenever a person is doing anything. So
Mhm.
we can see that her intention was to spread love through food and all. I think that is what is being spread throughout.
Yeah, 100%. Because we are experiencing the world of Swiggy and Zomato,
Yeah.
and we don't know who cooks, with
Yeah.
what emotion, with what intention the food is coming home. There is
Yes.
no wonder if people are suffering with all the kind of distress.
Yes.
Uh, so, absolutely, absolutely agree to what you said. So, others can add your points, guys. Just plunge in.
I mean, this book is to, read and feel rather than, just, study. Because one has to live this book. There are so many points that, every time you read, somewhere or the something or the other, it connects with you so deeply.
Hello.
So, yes,
Yeah.
yes, Neelam, ma'am. Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, Neelam, ma'am, you're audible. Ma'am, are you in mute?
Hello. Am I audible?
Now you are, ma'am. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Yes, ma'am.
You're audible, Neelam.
Right. So, Soumya ma'am, we are done.
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Right. Guys, we have some questions to share. Yeah, Vaishnavi, please say. Vaishnavi, you want to unmute and say?
Acha, she's saying that your voice is audible. I think you're
Oh,
asking.
okay. Thank you, Vaishnavi.
Um, Small question. I was wondering what was it Amrit that was the sustenance that you was getting during meditation?
Um,
Amrit, what?
Amrit is something, whatever I know. I mean, the little knowledge that I have, I'm just sharing with that. I mean, in Kriya Yoga, people have there is a set of meditation where people do and they can sustain themselves, okay, for years together without eating
Pratik,
food or
मेरे
drinking
earplugs
anything.
ले लो.
I think I've heard about that. I think Priya ma'am once mentioned that they can sustain themselves just with air.
Mm,
Like
mm.
they are sages who live in the mountains, they can sustain themselves with air.
Yes, yes.
So it's not actually
Yeah.
a physical form of sustenance. It's actually like a more of a
Yeah.
spiritual form of sustenance. It's not like something you can touch. It's not something you can hold.
I mean, that is true. Actually, we don't actually need. I mean, see, most of the energy we waste with, unnecessary thoughts. If we can just take control over thoughts, we don't need, much of whatever our daily requirement is. I have experienced that for some time, for a little, very little time, and I must say, I mean, with that experience, I can say this. And I happen to speak to one person, okay? There is an Odia scientist or someone. He went just like that for 419 days without eating or drinking. I think he was drinking water, but he did not eat anything for 400 plus days. What he used to do is he just used to go and expose himself to sunlight half an hour in the morning and half an hour in the evening. If plants can live, I mean, if plants can self sustain them, why not humans? Okay, he experimented himself like that. Okay, but what I personally feel is when your mind is absolutely clear and you have no emotions, no baggages. Uh, I think that's how yogis have been doing. I mean, the sadhana and all for years together at bone chilling temperature in without any clothes, without any protection and all. I mean, if they are sustaining, they are the example, right? I mean, we can see living examples.
Yeah, what I feel is like, um, you know, they don't have that impact of the external environment on them anymore because they are so deeply involved in what they were doing. Nothing
Yes.
distracts them.
Yes.
And I feel for them, the source of energy is the prana
Mm.
shakti, the breathing. You
Mm.
know, one who can improve the prana shakti, and that oxygen is what the source of energy becomes inside.
True.
And coming to nectar, it's nectar, Elizabeth. Amrit is nothing but the nectar, and they say all these gods and goddesses they drink nectar and they gain immortality. That's what they say. You
Mm.
know, when you have that nectar, and then you will not feel hunger, and you don't need anything else, and you're immortal, and you're stay young forever. So Sita was getting that form of a source of energy through her meditation to sustain herself in this, created environment.
Got it. Thank you. Understood. I think I understand.
Okay.
Sorry, another question I just wanted to like pose was in the chapter 15 where um I think they both had a talk. I can't Mandodri and
Mm.
Mata Sita.
Yeah.
And they were having a talk, and she felt like she couldn't leave. She felt like you mentioned Stockholm syndrome as like surrender.
Mm. Mm.
Um, and I think what I've heard from Stockholm syndrome is more that the person falls in love with the captor.
Yeah,
They
that's
start
what
to
that's
like
what happens.
they
That's what happens. I think, because when this dream comes to her, she fears maybe it is a bad omen. What is going to happen to Ravana? She comes to Sita for that. She actually indeed, becomes so devoted to her husband. Because what happens is when she was very young, she gets abducted and she has nowhere to go. So she gives in, she surrenders, and she marries him. She devotes herself completely. Okay. So that's why I said it is like, Stockholm syndrome, where they feel in love, they feel devoted to the perpetrator, whoever is it.
but the thing is if he's
Mm.
giving her these dreams such as like her family being massacred and things like that,
Mm-mm.
um she still feels that sense of love for him.
No, massacre of family is a dream that Sita Ma gets, not her family.
Okay, right.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that's why all the
Mm.
women of Ayodhya try to like um
That's a
instill
dream that
guilt.
that is a mind illusion that Ravana plays, okay, for Sita,
Okay.
and she gets really scared. And then Sage Anasuya comes to show her that it is this illusionary art of Ravana, which has created to weaken you. Okay, she shows her the truth that her parents are absolutely fine, and she also teaches her how to enter into his dream world, like Inception kind of. You know the movie Inception, where
I know the film. I know the film Inception. I've not actually seen it. But I
okay.
know I know the premise. Yeah, I know the premise.
The concept, right? I mean, getting into
Yeah.
installing some idea or something. So she does the same thing. This art was taught to her by Sage Anasuya. Okay, so that's how she gets into and she instills, like Ravana keeps saying all the women he has done wrong with. They come and ask him, you have done this thing, and they seek for justice. and all the women sages and all the deities, they come and attack him in the dream. And that's how his dreams, I mean his sleep gets really disturbed for months together.
But does he feel shame? Does he feel shame or guilt? They're trying to make him feel shame and guilt. Do they achieve
Mhm.
it? Because his sleep is
Yeah,
disturbed, but does
that's
he
right.
feel remorse?
No, he doesn't. Very slightly at one point of time, Mata could see, could make him realize about his past life. Like, this is not his true place. Okay, where does he belong to? Because actually he belongs to Vaikunta, right? As a Dwarpalaka, like, a keeper at the door, right? So she tries to remind him of his true nature. But again, his arrogance and his ego, it blinds him completely. Even she asked Hanuman to counsel him for the very same reason. But he doesn't listen to anyone. And that is the reason. I mean, if he could feel that the whole war could have been avoided, but when that was not happening, that is when Ram comes and strikes the arrow for him and frees him out of this whole delusion, whatever is there.
Got it. Thank you.
Yeah.
There is one interesting chat Vaishnavi had mentioned. I heard standing outdoor breeze, heavy rain, cleanse our aura, being outside is surrendering ourselves to the Panch Mahabhut. I guess that
Panchabhutam.
Panch
Okay,
Mahabhut.
Panchabhutam.
So, is that correct, Vaishnavi? That's what you wanted to say?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. No, Vaishnavi, you can unmute and say if you want to say something. I think it's not a question, ma'am, that she is trying to say is ki Panchabhutas can clean our aura. Yeah, that is true.
True that. True that. That's what we are discussing here also.
Yeah.
Okay, now another thing I would want to add, there are times where it is mentioned that in the books, it is mentioned that these things are taking place in Satyug.
Yes, ma'am. Mm.
That time, entering into the spiritual world was easier comparative to now.
Mm.
Okay. So, Elizabeth, you have to go into that zone and understand all these things happening in during that time. Then it will be easier for you to relate things. Okay.
I was curious whether it is possible for people to enter into other people's dreams now, actually. I
Yes.
was very
So
curious.
entering in dealing with things in Satyug was easier because you could easily relate to people and you can have an interaction with them in their spiritual forms. It is tough during this time. Okay, that's why we have all this different ways of interacting. But then for this particular book, you'll have to live in that era and understand this.
Can I add one point here?
Please, please, ma'am.
So, Elizabeth, it's not that difficult even in this era because if you see, since last 2 to 3 years, whatever we search in Amazon, say for example, you searched a water bottle in Amazon, that the same will reflect in your Facebook and Insta as ads. Whatever we are searching for, it is getting reflected in the other social media platforms, which becomes a reminder for you to buy. We all were worried initially, thinking that all our lives, our thought process, everything that we are thinking is, you know, there is everything has become an open world now. Everything is no, we they have access to every damn information that we are saying it out, writing it out, thinking about it also. Is it not? I hope this incident might have happened with all of you.
Very, very true.
If this can happen now, why not in that era? People, why can't they sit and just influence? Because they are the experts of meditation, they're experts of consciousness. It's just a ice walk, cakewalk, I would say, but provided they wanted to do it.
Mm.
Possible?
Brilliant, brilliant explanation, ma'am.
Thank you.
I can relate a bit more to that now, right? Thank you.
Great. So, do we have any more questions, or should we hang up?
Um, Ma'am, there is one more thing that I would like to add.
Sure, sure.
Like at the end, I said ki Mata was literally, when the Amrita was cut off, she was literally has become like, the ball of fire and all. Like, the kind of Ramayana that we grew up listening to and we have seen. After reading this, I was really furious. Like, how could one write like this? How could one, you know, uh, bring her character to, being so limited, right? So actually, I really felt very emotional after reading this. Today I tried my best to not to feel, you know. But imagine, like I said, if 1 hour of meditation can, literally can dry my throat, and imagine 1 year and deep meditation of such people. Uh, how people's perspective changes and how the way they look changes, and it's literally I feel that the patriarchal push was there to see things in this way. And but when you read this book, you get to see a completely a different idea and different um, version of things that you would understand, and how powerful women are of those times. We know very little about them. That's the saddest thing. There is a mention of many more sages in this book. um, I hope I don't know, maybe I hope I get to read more books and get to know about them. Yeah, that's it, ma'am. Thank you.
Hello, Soumya. I think that was one of the reasons the book was chosen to show the divinity of the kind of divine nature of femininity.
Mm,
So that was beautifully put.
yep.
Awesome, awesome. So, let's search for all such books and let's start reading them.
Yes, sir. Please go on.
Good
We are waiting for
afternoon.
you.
Yeah.
So, please.
Yeah. So, good afternoon, everyone. Very well explained, Samya. Well done. I mean, I could see the last chapter. I mean, listen to the last chapter, but not the entire thing. I'll go through the recording. But one thing,
Sir, your voice is cracking.
to
Probably you
say,
can
I mean,
switch off
clarify. I
the
mean, they're a
video.
bit awkward right now, so I'm in a rush. So let me talk about only one point. Is it
Yeah, it's
just hold on a
cracking,
second?
sir.
Is it okay now? Still?
Yeah, better,
Yes,
better.
sir. Yes. Mhm.
Okay. So, yeah. Okay. So one thing I would like to share with you about like is did Mandodari go through Stockholm syndrome? Okay, fall in love with the captor, and it is like a kind of what do you say, simplifying things without knowing the actual character of Mandodari and or Ravana. Okay, so Mandodari is as much powerful as Sita Ma Sita. Okay, but if she has come as a partner to such a powerful person like Ravana, so Ravana is not just called Dashasana just for the namesake. So he lived 10 different types of personality as a single person. So it is quite difficult. I mean, you name any art and any skill, he mastered all of them. Okay. So he is one of the greatest intellectual at that time. I mean, you take any subject, he is an expert in that. So, I mean, Mandodari served. I mean, like, just like how Soumya said, like, we don't know about so many great women sages. And if somebody writes a book about Mandodari, then we'll come to know the full extent of what she is capable of, rather than just like how we used to feel about Masita before reading this book. Now our perception has changed. and how many incarnations have come to change the energy of Ravan. So let's not oversimplify things and just put a label on it, but keep your minds open. There must be a reason, there must be a bigger purpose of Mandodari serving him or being an obedient this thing. Just like how Ma Anasuya says Anasuya Ma is like degraded or downplayed as like Pativrata or something, like an obedient wife, which she is, of course, but she is much more than that. That is only one aspect. So these kind of books, I mean, they should be stirring up the intellectual curiosity in you, and it should be helping you in breaking certain cages that you hold on to subconsciously. And coming back to Elizabeth's question, what is Amrut and what is nectar? Is it possible to sustain? That is a very interesting and good question. But if people know how to do actual meditation, Ashtanga yoga, when the prana shakti reaches from your root chakra to your crown chakra, that is Sahasrara. I mean, you can actually feel the flow of the Amrit in your own body. It is not something outside, it is inside. Okay. So that's a very beautiful concept and which is explained. And you know very well that Jesus fasted for 40 days. Okay. Those Christians and other people, they do fast these Lent days. So he didn't eat. And how did he survive? Right? He is practicing some form of yoga and he is able to get this. And he literally said that in the Bible, you are not sustained just by food. Okay. So that's also is there. And I mean, I'm glad that it is the book discussion and review and the discussions are happening without any interruption. Thank you so much, Neelam, for doing this. And thank you all the coaches for attending and making it much more richer with your questions and sharing your experiences. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. So I guess we'll wind up with that and see you next Tuesday.
Yeah. We can stop the recording, Neelam. Yeah. Do we have the recording of last week, Neelam?
Now I
Mansi's.
have it all. I just forgot to update it, but I'll definitely do it today.